We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us.
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous. And here we go. Hey, Matt.
Hi.
I want to personally welcome you into this week's High School Famous. It's, as we all know, the podcast where we will probably talk about high school, but hopefully we will not.
Famously.
I
is that podcast.
I'm your host, Sean.
And as you already all know, I'm Matt, because Sean already mentioned me.
I could be lying. So if anyone cares, I should apologize because I know that on the last episode, we did mention that we were going to post pictures of the Hungarian Spider-Man, or
Turkish.
no, hold on, Turkish Spider-Man versus Turkish or Captain Turkish America movie. We were going to be posting pictures of the DVD case and the disc inside.
Mm-hmm.
We have yet to do that. And,
I don't have any photos of it, personally.
But still, it remains a true statement. Neither of us have done it yet.
Yep.
And so, hopefully, before this episode is out, it will be posted, and you'll have a chance to review those images, as intriguing as they may be or not be.
True.
But yeah, we made a claim on the show that we were going to post those and haven't yet, which is, true to our form, I think.
Yeah, I shouldn't have said we will, and should have said we should during the episode.
Yeah. Because, anyone who knows us knows how inactive we are on the socials.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not that has been a hindrance to our growth as a show, I guess people could weigh in on that. But yeah, we don't know. I don't have a whole lot of interest in keeping up with being very active on these things
On social media.
Yeah,
with limited interaction back toward us, it makes it more difficult. I think if we were getting a lot of interaction from people, it would be more inclined to keep it going.
Of course, but this just sounds like we're yelling out into a wind tunnel, and the only sound we get back is our own. But I did technically make a Discord, but I think that's something you have to invite people to.
Probably.
So I can figure out who to send invites to that for that too, and see if anyone joins it. I don't know. That would be another thing. That would be yet another thing that I'd potentially not keep up on, because we have a Facebook, we have an X account, we have Instagram, we have YouTube, which
TikTok.
Our episodes, TikTok. Yep. So yeah, all these things. Our episodes post where they post, and they post to YouTube, but that's all automatically done. So what what say ye, Matt? What's your excuse for not bombarding our listeners with content?
I don't know. I'm lazy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just lazy.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we record, and then I kind of shut this off from my brain for a week.
I know, me too. So have things quieted down since the crew vacated your city?
For the most part. I mean, work is still ridiculous, but other than that, and the weather has gotten better. It's not as god-awfully hot as it was when you guys were here.
I know, it's kind of like weather-wise. I mean, there could be worse conditions to be in, but to walk around in 90-degree weather every day it would have been nice if it was about 10 degrees cooler, or if not 15 degrees cooler outside, but that's just how it worked out. 20?
I would have taken 20.
Yeah, sure.
It was like nearly 100 degrees while you guys were here. I would have taken 20 degrees cooler.
I don't know about that. I think it was like high 80s, low 90s tops.
So
92 tops. That's not almost 100.
20 degrees colder is still 72 degrees. That's still a very warm day.
I guess if it's sunny.
Yeah, like it's 75 and sunny today, and it's like perfect out.
It's really, today's great. I don't remember what it is here. If it's too much, if it's very different from your neck of the woods, but yeah, I've been preferring this. But then that just makes me worried that autumn is going to creep up real fast, and then we're going to be wishing we had days like this.
Right. No, I mean, I love fall weather. I think fall weather's great. And that's my take on it.
That's your hot take.
Yep. We're
Matt's,
talking about weather.
Matt's position, I know. Matt's position on fall does not represent High School Famous's position as a podcast. So don't come after us, you
don't like fall?
Winter lovers. No, I do. I like it a lot.
I do hate winter, but I also kind of hate summer. So
you're pissing a lot of people off right now.
Hey, it's my opinion. So go fuck yourselves.
I think spring is overrated. There's my
fall's definitely my favorite season. I would say the reason I probably like spring next second is just because it's not as cold as winter was, and it's not as blisteringly hot as summer gets. It's kind of just that build up. It's very wet usually, and then it's very dirty still just from all the winter build up.
Spring does bring the promise of winter being over, but
yes.
I think that people think more fondly of it than they should, because I think it ends up being colder than they would hope. And also, again, like you said, very wet, very muddy, it's just gross outside in the spring.
Yeah. Which, I mean, fall gets that way too, but
not as bad.
To a lesser extent. Lots of leaves.
Yeah,
clogging up all the sewers.
Yep. And all the minds of our children. Well, let's all right. Weather, huh?
Yeah, we've been talking about weather.
We've finally done it. Episode 147, we have resorted to talking about the weather.
I'm sure we've mentioned weather many other times. I just feel like this time we talked about it a lot.
Well, I mean, yes,
more
we've
in
mentioned
depth.
things about the weather before. But
started working Saturdays again. I'm on Saturdays again now.
That's good.
So, yeah, it's back to 6 days a week, so that's fun.
How much of your soul does that company possess?
Well, according to, myth and legend, I'm a redhead, therefore I don't have a soul.
And you're working on Saturday because other people aren't willing to, or they would bitch about it. And so it's easier for you to just do it.
I volunteered to work Saturdays because we're falling behind and I want us to get caught up.
Shouldn't everyone want the company to get caught up? Can everybody work on Saturday?
Most people don't. Oh, yeah. Well, depending on the department. But most people don't, care as much, I guess, as I do about being caught up. They're not in a position of feeling like responsible for getting caught up.
Are there grave ramifications for not being caught up?
Not necessarily for me, but I mean, it doesn't make my job any easier, because then we'll just continue to fall further and further behind, which then just means that I'm constantly overly busy, and anything new that comes in puts us further behind.
Are you ever caught up?
Yeah, during the entire summer we were way ahead, and then all of a sudden shit hit the fan, and now we're behind. So
when you're caught up, what does that mean? Does that mean there's not a steady stream of work, or are you waiting for stuff to come in? Are you waiting for stuff to do?
We'll get to the point where we're far enough ahead where we literally can't work on more stuff because it'll just sit around, because there's certain stuff that contractually we can't ship early.
Oh.
So if we make too much stuff, then we have stuff sitting around clogging up the shipping department, because now they have a bunch of stuff sitting around that they can't get out the door. So yeah, I mean, there's certain stuff we can ship early, certain stuff we can't. So we get
if it's not in the shipping department, where is it? Like, if it's not,
then it's sitting on my floor in my area, which I don't have room for.
So okay, so the stuff you can't work on early. Where's that? That's already there, right?
The product is there. I just can't build anything. I just can't build it.
Where is it?
Oh, its stock is just in our shelves.
Oh, gotcha.
To prepare to build.
Got it.
So that doesn't hurt us. But yeah, when we get far enough ahead, then we have time to do other project-y type work, which I don't know when I'll get a chance to do any of that again, which will suck. So,
well, you had that like new racking whole thing you did, right? Where you moved stuff around. That was a big project.
That was a big project that I did that paid dividends for the fact that stuff is all that project that I did, all that racking now tends to be full, and I still end up having stuff on the floor. So without that racking, my floor would be
more full,
huge mess. So
and you're still way behind.
We're still way behind. So it's kind of a twofold thing as to why we're behind. This is so not interesting, but
should we talk about the weather again?
Well, yeah,
it was partly cloudy. I saw some clouds. I think it might rain today, Matt. There might be some precipitation.
So, twofold why we're behind right now. One, we're still having problems getting product in. So there's a lot of orders that are just waiting for product to come in. And then the other thing was, for whatever reason, in these last couple of weeks, we've had just a huge influx of orders. So I went from having about like 400 assemblies a week to do to now I'm up to 1,200 to 1,500 assemblies a week to do, which when we have our full crew working at full capacity, about 1,000 a week is pretty average. So, but we went from 400 to like 1,200 within a week. So it was just kind of like that thing that happened. And then I have almost 3,000 assemblies sitting in back order status that I can't touch right now because parts aren't in. And just this last week, about like on top of already being behind and doing work, 400 assemblies from back order released because stuff came in. So then we had to these are the oldest things, so let's stop this, and we got to work those now. So that just pushes everything else back now.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a vicious cycle. It'll eventually get cleaned up, but working some extra hours just helps get it there a little faster.
Isn't there someone who, aren't there people who are supposed to sort of manage the flow of work and making sure that they can't? Oh, that's you.
As far as the work that's in the system already, yeah, I manage what's on the floor.
Well, so I was wondering, because you said we went from 400 assemblies to 1,200. Like, someone doesn't say, "Hey, that's too much. We can't take on that much."
It just how shit gets ordered, how the customers order their product. All of a sudden, they want this much of it.
Okay,
we whoever enters the orders enters them in of like, okay, they have like a set algorithm that they work with of like, this much work has this much of a lead time. So if they order it on X day and they want it by a certain time, they have to abide by a certain amount of lead time on that product. So if they order it on Tuesday, they might have like a 2-week lead time to that following 2 Tuesdays later. So they enter it in that way, and that's just It doesn't, and then it just hits us as it hits us. So yeah, it fluctuates a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I literally can have a really light week and then a very, very busy week, and it's just because that's how the orders came in. And usually we're either on time or ahead enough that doesn't matter much. But as soon as we get behind, it just piles up. So yeah, I might have 400 assemblies this week and 1,200 the next week, but I can I might get this 400 done fast enough to pull forward and start working on the next week's stuff to lighten that load for that next week. But if something else falls into that chain, now that 1,200 might push back, and now I have another week of 1,200 behind it. So now I have 2,400 assemblies that I have to get done within. So we just work first in, first out situation. And
is there any discussion between the customers and you guys where it's like, where they sort of give you a heads up, like, hey, we're going to want to place an order for this much. How doable is that? And then does the company ever say, well, if I were you, I would wait, give us a week before you place that order, because we're backed up? Or do they just order
certain things,
and you guys just react based on the orders they place?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things. If it's like a huge influx all of a sudden, then we'll tell them like, yeah, hey, well, this is going to take a little bit longer or blah, blah, blah. But a lot of it has to do with their customers as well. If their customers are demanding stuff, it's just this chain of shit that keeps continuing to roll downhill, and you just kind of have to work with it. There's a lot of stuff we can push out sometimes. Like I've got a few jobs that I'm pushing out as far as I can just to relieve a little bit of pressure, but it is what it is. And
so
I get stressed out about it. And then I talk to my boss about it, and he's like, don't stress out. Like, you just do what you can get done. We're going to do the best we can. That's it. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I'm the one out there on the floor freaking trying to like maneuver it and figure out what to work next and make sure everybody's staying busy and all that stuff. And I'm just like, it stresses me out, even though I keep getting told not to get stressed out. But
so based on your metaphor, would you call it the shitball effect?
I wouldn't. It's not
Any
technically
reason?
my metaphor. It's just a metaphor I used.
So, okay.
I didn't come up with it.
But you could call it, instead of calling it the snowball effect, because you said the shit just rolls down the hill.
Yeah, shit rolls downhill, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, everything rolls downhill unless it's an object that can't roll.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. I thought you would like that a little more.
Well, I'm tired.
Of course, it's 5 p.m. on a Sunday. Why wouldn't you be?
Well, because
why wouldn't you be?
I'm
gonna need more energy here, Matt.
Involved. There's factors involved as to why I'm tired, but
if this show is gonna continue, I'm gonna need more energy, man. This is getting a little. It's getting a little.
I don't always come with low energy. I wouldn't even say I'm like extremely low energy right now. I was just saying I didn't react to your joke the way you probably wanted me to. I'm going to
need you to react. I'm going to need you to react favorably to my jokes. Do you want me to keep making them?
Favorably.
Do you want me to keep making jokes, Matt? I'll stop making jokes.
There's, I'm 50-50 on that because
I'm going to put
because when you say jokes, it should really be in quotes.
Well, no, that was amazing. I even wrote it down. Anyway, speaking of jokes, let's just jump into what people really came here for. Hey, this is relevant. It's all about, employment. So here we go. I've been trying to write jokes about being unemployed, but similar to the one I told earlier, but none of them work.
What an absolute failure of paper throwing this week.
Oh, that one hit me in the face.
Yep. Sean throws the card every week, and that time it just almost
right in
eye.
My face.
Almost into the eye.
You would think I had like a little desk fan that was blowing at me that would have caused that. No,
that was just pure some sort of physics and air resistance caused it to go right into Sean's eyeball.
I blame quantum fluctuation, of course.
Oh, yeah. I blame Jesus.
Because that's what he's spending his time doing.
Well,
manipulating the way in which my paper flies through the air.
I mean, most people don't make claims that Jesus is really doing much. It's usually God. When you pray and for things and stuff, it's you're praying to God. You're not praying to Jesus.
Yeah, but I hear these terms like I have a relationship with Jesus, or you must have back to dating profiles. You need to have a strong relationship with Jesus.
Do you?
And I don't. That's
a requirement on which dating apps are you on?
It's not.
Are you on J-Date?
It's not specific to any
Christian
particular
Mingle?
app. It's just certain people. Yeah, I'm on Christian Mingle, and I'm surprised that people have some sort of faith in that. No, it's I don't see
the
it.
One atheist on fucking Christian Mingle.
I don't see it tied to any app. I think it's just some people are just that's what they say they need from with a partner. So, but I was wondering why
swipe left.
Yeah, like I get the whole they say God fearing. And being religious and having faith. But yeah, the whole relationship with Jesus specifically, I don't get.
Yeah.
Because what does that get you? I haven't read the Bible in a while, so what does that get you?
I don't. I think it's been 40 years since you've.
You know what I don't get?
Almost 41 years since you've read the Bible.
The Bible, I've held a Bible, right? I've looked at.
Did it burn?
I burned. The Bible remained intact, but for me, for some reason, to the touch, it was extremely hot, and I had to go to the hospital.
I guess I more so meant did holding it burn, not did the Bible itself burn.
Did the Bible burn? Yeah, my negative energy burned the Bible. No, I hear about these like Bible in a year programs or goals or whatever.
Okay.
Does it take that long to read the thing? A year? And that's if you have it like plotted out like a consistent plan to make it possible to read in a year's time.
I think, well, because I mean, you're not going to just read it for the full, however many hours a day you're awake. You're
not going to read it in a sitting. No, I know, I get that. But couldn't you? I mean, is it that massive compared to other books that people read in say a month's time?
It's a big book full of lots of stories, and it's very the Bibles I remember looking in over the years of forced Christianity.
Christianity.
Well, Catholicism more specifically. It's not, depending on what printed version you have of it, it's not a super huge book, but it's finely printed, and like most pages have multiple columns of how it's printed. It's not like written like a novel, obviously.
How many chapters?
I mean, it's the kind of book, if I were to try to read the Bible, it would probably take me more than a year, because I think I would just lose such interest in it, and I would like literally have to force myself to read it.
I would too. I don't think there's enough.
It'd be rough.
That would keep my attention. I don't know,
but I think for some people it's the only book they ever read, which then you think they'd be more well versed in it and they wouldn't misquote it so fucking much.
Well, yeah, that's easy to do though. If there are parts of it, if there are parts that are commonly misquoted, you'll just probably you want to go with the flow,
or taken out of context. That's a majority of it. Is a majority of the Bible gets taken extremely out of context, and people use it as a weapon.
No. It's not.
And not in the traditional sense of hitting somebody with it
or burning somebody. It's not taken out of context, Matt. It's interpreted.
It's interpreted out of context.
Correctly.
You'd be amazed at how much of it is just not.
Well, who are you to say?
I am me.
I remember a product that was sold on the shopping channel I used to work for called the Go Bible. And I honestly, to this day, I don't remember if it was an audio version or if it was just basically like a Kindle with the Bible on it. That was all it was on.
Which you can just get on a Kindle. You can just get a Bible on a Kindle.
My guess is it was an audio book, because otherwise why buy it? You know what I mean? But
what you could buy fucking read that would be to be the person doing the audiobook version of the Bible.
You could buy. Well, there are so many people that are probably really gung-ho about doing that.
It's got to be awful.
But you do it and your sins are forgiven and you get into heaven. That's one of the bargaining chips for reading the Bible aloud for other people to listen to. But you could choose between the King James Bible or the New International Bible, which, from what I understand, the New International version sort of cleared up some of the more ambiguous statements.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they added some text to make it more aligned clear with what they wanted it to be.
More clear, less confusing, less ambiguous, more clear. It's modern. It modernizes it to make it easier to understand,
and to fit an agenda.
If there were parts that were a little unclear, ambiguous, it could be taken out of context, misinterpreted. It made it a little less possible to misinterpret, I think.
Right. And who did that? Who did the modernizing of it?
I don't know. It was just called the International, or the New International version. That's what it was called. So it had to put America first, and
where the frickin' the place where Christianity did not originate by any means.
Nope.
Thanks for that.
Well, hey, I'm just
just a long pause.
Nope.
To the no.
I'm just giving back what I receive.
I'm giving back quite a bit. I'm conversing with you on this.
You want to know who gives back quite a bit more than you, Matt?
Are you going to come up with a sponsor for this episode? What?
No.
Okay.
No, it's a man named Roberto Esquivel.
What
Cabrera.
a transition. Bravo on.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
That people don't realize yet
right now, no one knows
how good of a transition this actually is. That is possibly the best transition ever on this episode. On this episode, ever on this podcast.
Wow, that's a high mark.
Well, because normally it's just like, speaking of something that has nothing to do with what we were just talking about, let's talk about something else. This one, that actually works. That actually works.
Well, you know, between last episode and this episode, I got a journalism degree. I just went ahead and got one last week. So it's really unofficial, you know.
Yeah, I'd have you show me your degree, but your camera keeps freezing for me this entire time.
Does it?
Oh yeah, you're at like 1 frame per minute right now.
That's weird. You're not freezing for me. I'm not freezing for me.
I don't know.
Anyways, let's let everyone know why that was such an amazing transition. So, this man. Okay, all right. See you next Tuesday, everybody.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. So this guy. The article states, who is Roberto Esquivel Cabrera, and does he have the biggest penis in the world? This is up for debate.
I mean, unless you measure every penis.
I think that there are some people you could just rule out right away. I think like you could rule me out right away. You could just say,
but they don't know
he's
that.
definitely not in the running.
They don't know that. You seem like you had a specific thing in mind of who could you rule out right away, Sean? Who do you think in this world has small penises?
I don't. I wasn't thinking of anyone specific. I guess what I was saying is there are people who know for themselves that they are just there's no point in even putting themselves in the running.
Right.
Which is, I would say, most people. So I don't think you need to measure every penis in the world.
Okay.
I mean, do you think it would be necessary to measure yours to find out who has the largest?
It's not necessary. However,
but I insist.
It'd be nice.
It'd be. Oh man, I want so badly for someone to measure it. Yeah, please. You may have heard. Yeah, well, I mean, this says you may have heard of this man, although I had not heard of this man.
Right.
It sounds like you haven't heard of this man, so I'm not sure who goes around hearing of these things. Even if you don't recognize his name, but you probably have seen his pictures. It even says after that, which again, I don't know who is really in this world to know exactly who this man is. But anyway, I wasn't.
Not typically something I'm Googling.
Yeah, I am on I'm on private browsing for this because I didn't want I didn't want this to be like
a little incognito mode going on.
Yeah, so no, I heard a podcast, people talking about various metal bands, and then of course Tommy Lee came up, and they're like, how is that that's so unfair that he's also, not only is it a super famous rock star that has all the money he could ever want, but he also is famously well endowed, and that's just not fair, Yeah, well, so that made me go, what's the biggest that we know of? Because first I thought, well, how big is Tommy Lee's? But I didn't look that up. That just made me right to go, well, what's the biggest, anyway. So that's how I got here. For Tommy Lee?
Yeah, I can Google that quick while you're telling your story.
Sure. So this Roberto guy claims to have the largest penis in the world, but others dispute these claims, including the Guinness World Record holder for lengthy members. The record holder stating that he's not competing, or he's not trying to compete with this man, but he's also being openly claiming that it's not surpassing him. Let's see. So he's a 54-year-old man from Saltillo, Mexico. And according to him, his penis measures in at 18.9 inches.
That's ridiculous.
Yes. He hit the headlines in 2015.
According to him.
Well, yeah, he hit the headlines in 2015 after a video of him measuring his manhood went viral. Again, something I just missed. Maybe this was not something that hit America. Anyway, he is registered as disabled because of his huge penis.
I would imagine.
Let's see.
I'm disabled just thinking about an 18-inch penis.
The gargantuan size of Roberto's penis also makes sexual encounters impossible.
I would imagine as well.
On top of this, he has frequent urinary tract infections because not all his urine escapes his lengthy foreskin.
Dude, no.
He also keeps his colossal member wrapped in bandages to escape chafing.
Lengthy foreskin is something those are two words put together that I'd never imagined hearing.
And they can't be good. But that is that is actually the center of the debate.
It's a great
controversy. Lengthy foreskin?
Yeah.
But you'll understand why this is the heart of the debate and the controversy around whether or not this is truly the size of his penis.
Okay. It's all foreskin.
But here are some things he says. So he has not been added to the Guinness World Records as the length from his elongated foreskin, not the shaft itself. I am famous because I have the biggest penis in the world, he told Barcroft Television. I'm happy with my penis. I know nobody has the size I have. I would like to be in the Guinness Book of Records, but they don't recognize this. They don't accept it, is what he says. So someone named Dr. Monroe said, what the CT scan showed was that there is very large foreskin. It goes just before the knee. But the penis itself is about 16 to 18 centimeters from the pubis.
Okay.
So that's what something else said later is around 6 inches. So how do you get 6 inches of... Yeah.
He has a 6... So they're saying he actually has a 6-inch penis, but he has an additional 12 inches of foreskin?
That's what is being said here.
Oh my God, that's so much worse. Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, so basically the story is, let's see, who has accused Roberto of faking his penis size? Why, it's the current record holder, Jonah Falcon. Have you heard of Jonah Falcon?
Amazingly, no.
Jonah Falcon, who has a 13.5-inch member, said the fact that Roberto had used weights to stretch his penis to 19 inches meant his claim was absurd. Roberto has admitted to spending his life trying to make it bigger. He would basically wrap it up and attach weights to the foreskin to try to stretch it.
So he stretched his foreskin out. A long foreskin does not a large penis make.
Right. That's a lot to write down. Let's see.
What the fuck? Like, no. Like, I mean, I guess that explains why he hasn't gotten a circumcision, because clearly then he can't continue to stretch it out.
Right.
But it's like, foreskin is not the penis. It's the skin on your penis.
Correct. That's, I think, the general consensus.
I think that's the medical consensus.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, you can't claim I have the largest penis and it's just all skin. Like,
so why? Yes, Roberto has spent his life trying to extend the size of his manhood. As a teenager, the 54-year-old would attach weights to his penis to try to stretch it out. One doctor who examined him to verify the size of his genitals, Dr. Gonzalez, said he began with this enlargement since he was a teenager, wrapping some bands around his penis with some weights and trying to stretch it. The practice would place tension on his skin and result in small tears. His body would then naturally repair these cuts, promoting new cellular growth and eventually increasing the size of his penis. Although the experts who examined him believe that the bulk of the 18.9-inch meat that he is packing is just foreskin.
Yeah, it sounds like about 2/3 of it.
Yeah. And so,
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
So, yeah, Jonah Falcon, he, I guess he's famous for being considered the person that has the largest penis at when erect is 13.5 inches, when flaccid is 8 point something. inches.
Okay.
But one thing he's decided is once he dies, he wants to donate his penis to the Icelandic Phallological Museum.
Oh, of course.
So
I bet you this other dude ain't going to be doing that.
I don't think they would accept it. Maybe
They'll
they would.
take it to his grave.
Yeah. So let's the Icelandic Phallological Museum. This is a review here. Surely the world's only museum to showcase the phalluses of an entire nation's mammalian wildlife.
Okay.
Iceland's Phallological Museum is somewhat unique despite its obvious quirk factor. The museum is actually an interesting and, for the most part, fairly serious establishment. It offers guests the chance to inspect almost 300 penises, including parts of penises, that together represent pretty much all the land and sea mammals to be found throughout the country. A quarter belong to various types of whales, but there are also samples from polar bears and seals, as well as a letter from a local human pledging his own personal specimen posthumously. It says local human, so I don't think that's Mr. Falcon, because Falcon is in the U.S. So we've got at least 2 people that are offering to donate their penis to this museum. There are also elf penises, though you'll need special psychic powers to see them.
Okay.
So let's see. Okay, what do we got here? So this is the actual website. I was never interested in collecting stamps. From a meager personal collection to the only genuine phallus museum in the world with donations from all over the globe, the Icelandic Phallological Museum is an entirely independent, family-owned establishment which has become a staple of the Reykjavik tourist experience. Following are some of the milestones of the museum's history, which cuts across generations. The genesis of phallus collecting. So, if you there, you can easily be slapped with some sort of sexual harassment claim here in the U.S., right? If you even so much as comment on someone's looks or appearance.
Sure.
So the genesis of phallus collecting, the collection begins when our founder and original curator, Sigurdur Hjartarson, anyway, is given a bull penis. I'm guessing it's supposed to say puzzle, but it's pizzle, as a joke by his teaching staff.
Okay.
When he worked as a headmaster in the small town of Arcanes. So if you're at work, what would you think if your staff gave you a bull penis puzzle?
It's not puzzle. It is pizzle.
Pizzle? What does pizzle mean?
It's I believe something to do with penis.
It's a bull penis?
It's something. Well, it's a part of the penis, maybe, or something. I don't know.
Maybe
I'm gonna have to Google pizzle, but it's if somebody gave me a pizzle, I don't know.
You're not aware that someone has given you a pizzle? Or anyway, giving him a phallus became an ongoing joke, and as some of the teachers had...
Pizzle is just the penis of an animal, especially a bull. So, yeah. They gave him a bull penis pizzle.
Okay. I don't know why it's necessary to have the word pizzle after...
You can buy pizzle sticks.
Instead of swizzle sticks?
Nope, like smokehouse pizzle sticks. It's like you can eat some penis.
Oh, it's like getting a Slim Jim.
They're dog treats.
Oh.
Okay. When I clicked on it, I'm like, okay, that makes way more sense.
Anyway, yeah. Giving him a phallus became an ongoing joke, and as some of the teachers had summer jobs at a whaling station, this guy got some interesting specimens, and an interest in collecting more mammal species developed. This is back in 1974.
So he got the gift of a penis, which, I mean, don't we all?
Yeah.
What a gift of a penis I have. That weirdly like sparked an interest in him to like, well, maybe if I collect more of them. It's weird to have one.
Yeah.
I should probably get more.
I need to surround myself.
Like, having one is just odd. Having multiple, then people are like, oh, okay, he's into it.
Oh, this isn't weird.
It's more interesting. One makes me a creep. Several makes me an interesting person.
Yeah, makes me the owner of your museum.
And that's why people become serial killers. One murder just makes you a crazy murderer. Several murders, now you're an interesting person. You're a person of interest.
You are a person of interest. You're on, I would say, several lists. Wanted lists? FBI?
Yeah. Then you're just like, look how popular I am. Everybody wants me.
Let's see. The museum opened in 1997. There's now even a new era. The Icelandic mammal fauna is completed when Sigurdur, I'm not sure how to say his name, finally gets a human specimen. He announces his retirement and declares that his son, Hjortur, will take over. Hjortur then moves the museum back to Reykjavik again, doubling the space for the ever-growing collection. Yeah.
Pun intended?
I think so. Today in the future, serious about penises. The popularity of the museum and size of the exhibit prompts the museum to move to its current location in the heart of Reykjavik, almost tripling the size of just the show space and adding a phallic-themed bistro.
Oh, weird.
Presentation is elevated in every way, and the reaction of visitors and media is extremely positive. Now, let's take a look at the Phallic Cafe and Bistro and its offerings.
If they don't have Rocky Mountain oysters.
I didn't see that. But we do have some penis-shaped waffles, if you're interested.
Okay. Aren't we all?
So, there's nothing funny about their names. They're just various toppings you can get. One of them being Nutella, spelled Nutella. I wonder if that's there for that purpose only.
Is that not how you spell it?
It is. But it's like, let's put Nutella on the menu, just so there's the word nut in this list of things.
Got it.
Coffee didn't seem to want to play along. You just get espresso, tea, Americano, Swiss mocha. Nothing funny about that. But once you get into the draft beer,
funny about coffee.
There's nothing funny about coffee or tea, people. But once you get into the beer, that's where the fun really begins.
Okay.
We've got an IPA, which there's nothing special about that. But you can get some options such as the Phallic Pilsner.
Okay.
You can get the Moby Dick Pale Whale.
Mm-hmm.
You can get the Dick Johnson.
Okay.
Or you can get the Big Cock Ale. And what are all the tap handles shaped like?
Penises?
You guessed it.
Just a bunch of dildos.
A bunch of dildos. So yeah, every time an employee has to
grab
a beer, they have to grab and pull on an impressive cock.
An impressive cock.
So, it opens every day from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. I'm sure that means local time. If you have inquiries about the museum, you can always email them. Just address your email to phallus@phallus.is.
Oh.
Admission is $2,750 ISK, whatever ISK. There's whatever currency that is. Icelandic currency.
ISK?
ISK. Yep.
Hold on. I'm going to look up the currency exchange rate. So it's how much?
Yeah, let's see. 2,750 ISK. 2750.
50 is about $20.59 American.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, that's not that bad.
So
it's Icelandic krona.
Okay, that's what the K is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that. I propose that High School Famous heads overseas, and we take this show over to Iceland, and we pay this little museum a visit.
If there was any reason to go to Iceland.
It doesn't mention a gift shop, but I have to... No, you know what? I'm wrong. There is a gift shop.
I mean, you can't go there without buying some sort of penis paraphernalia.
Right. I'm trying to see if there's anything... if they list any detail about what's offered there. I think it's just, various shirts and mugs and whatnot. Probably penis keychains, probably.
Maybe a little stuffed penises.
Oh, yeah.
Like some stuffed animal type. Yeah, plushies.
Some penis plushes, plushy penis.
I got this penis plush.
Hundreds of phallic specimens, one of a kind. Phallus Cafe and Bistro.
Every penis is one of a kind.
Correct. A totally unique gift shop. Stores of exclusive items. The gift shop has hundreds of penis-themed wares, from memorabilia to board games and books to designer items. Our visitors are sure to find something memorable. The website itself, it would be nice if you could sort of click on something like that and kind of get an idea of what items are offered, but not so.
Order something online.
Yeah. Philology is an ancient science in the vein of natural philosophy, which until recently has received very little attention in Iceland, except as a borderline field of study in other academic disciplines such as history, art, psychology, literature, and other artistic fields like music and ballet. Now, thanks to the Icelandic Philological Museum, it is finally possible for individuals to undertake serious study into the field of philology in an organized scientific fashion. I'm trying to find it. I remember seeing something on here about it being a family-friendly museum.
I mean, I guess. I mean, there's nothing like. It's not pornographic. It's just
right.
You know, it sounds like it's very like taken from a very like scientific approach of it. Of just like look at all the weird different types of penises there are.
They show this one little wood stand that has like a little wood display carving on it or whatever. It just says the Icelandic Philological Museum at the bottom in a circular sort of symbol, and there's the museum's little penis symbol inside. But then above that, it's some sort of mythological penis. The penis is like a mythological creature with wings and like hind legs with hooves, or maybe more like talons, like a bird. Makes more sense. The wings. So the head of the animal, of course, is the head of the penis, and the body is the shaft of the penis. But then it also has a tail, and the tail is a penis.
Oh,
so it's just, this place is so bizarre. I thought it was so bizarre that it's worth talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's weirder museums out there than this.
Probably, but like, it just of course, this was started by a man, and to have an entire museum dedicated to one body part of animals. Wouldn't you think? I mean, if you went to just any other museum that features like any information other body about animals, well, just like it would cover the whole animal, but I doubt they would go into as much detail.
There would be no detail about specifically the animal's penis. Unless it had some weird, like, forked penis or something that was, like specific to, like, the way, like, this animal can only reproduce a certain way because of.
Well, then, you talk about ducks and things, like the weird duck.
Yeah, there's the weird
duck penis situation.
Yeah. You remember the weird duck penis situation we were in? Yeah, something like that, or unless there was something like very weirdly specific about it, like you're not gonna go to the museum and hear about. They're not really going to go into any sort of depth about penises,
correct?
Or peni, or penisi, or
the penisi. We all know what happens there. You're over pluralizing.
Penises.
So, that's what I got. That's all about, two men arguing over who's bigger, and then one
that
dedicated
led you to,
one promising to donate his posthumously to the museum.
Oh, I hope. Yeah, I would hope so. I would hope so that it would be posthumously. I can't imagine that it is remotely easy to keep a 13.5-inch penis erect.
Let's see. He did have, there was the bit on him was talking about some of the issues he runs, some of the issues he runs into with having this this setup of his.
Setup.
He told Need to Know Online recently that he has recently in relation to when this article came out. I didn't see when that was. One thing I found it difficult sometimes is just seeing when something came out. Like when you read an online article, for some reason I find it hard to just find a date on when it came out. Let's see. He has to watch what he wears to avoid making people uncomfortable with his prominent bulge.
I can imagine.
And sometimes struggles in the bedroom since his privates are so big. Since my testicles are extremely large, I'm cognizant of prominent bulges, he explained.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to wear baggy or pleated pants to go incognito.
Right.
For some reason, it's gotten thicker to the point that I can't receive oral sex, and intercourse requires a very slow entry.
Mm-hmm. I can just imagine that. Yeah. I mean,
whereas my very slow entry is to give the other person plenty of time to change their mind.
my very slow entry is to not be caught. I meant also, that like as in entering a building slowly. I know how rapey that sounded.
It sounded very
rapey, and that's in my head. I was thinking about entering a building, like a joke of like, yeah,
yeah.
So
he says it's also harder to get absolutely fully erect. Although
I can imagine
he thinks that's a function of age and not so much the size itself. He is 52 or something like that
at the time 52. Of the article.
At the time of the article, which again, something at the very top of this website is just reporting today's weather, so I'm not going to go with that date.
Yeah, that to me would be the thing. Is like, you know, I just couldn't imagine it being able to just withstand, like, you know, just imagine holding something by the edge that's 13 and a half inches long for a long period of time. Like it's gonna be hard to from the edge, from like one end, but like, yeah. And I can only imagine, a penis that big to have sex with somebody. It's probably uncomfortable for both people.
Yeah. This is funny. Jonah claimed that he even got stopped by LAX airport security recently after they noticed a giant unexplained bulge in his pants and thought it was something else. I was recently stopped. They frisked me and confirmed I was all natural, quote unquote, quote end quote. This is a normal occurrence with electric scanning devices, though.
Like the machines you have to stand in.
Yeah.
There's like, something doesn't seem right there. But somebody's just like, I know it is a penis, but I just want to see it.
What would you presume? Well, that's another thing he runs into is he finds that some people that try to go out with him are only interested because of this, which I would imagine it's everyone.
Yeah.
But what do you think a guy with the world's largest penis does for a living?
Anything he wants?
Of course, he hosts a show called Talkin' Yankees, which he discusses the New York Yankees.
He brings his own bat.
There's more. Nice. So that shows you there's more to him than.
Well, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure he's not all. You know, I'm sure there's more interesting things about him than just his penis. I'm sure that to him is probably like the most annoying thing of just like, this is all people care about me, but really like nobody wants to hear my poetry. You know, something like that. All they want to do is look at my.
Are up here. Over the years, he has appeared on numerous talk shows to discuss his large member. However, his claims have yet to be verified. Wait, we don't mean yet to be verified. Anyway, yeah, that's the story of that fella, Jonah Falcon. Cool name, anyway.
Yeah. The other guy is pathetic. You can't stretch your foreskin and claim you have a long penis. I'm sorry.
Dang.
Now, had you
I was about to start a new bedtime regimen.
Well, yeah, I mean, had you been weighing down your actual penis and made it longer, like that's one thing. But I don't know if that really would work that much. I feel like that would just damage
Here's what
tissue around your penis and make it more difficult to actually get or maintain an erection.
Here's what I think, everyone. I think if there was a tried and true, tested and verified way to enlarge your penis, it would be out there and everybody would be doing it.
Yeah, then everybody would have huge penises, and
therefore no one would have a huge penis.
Yeah, and you know who's most obsessed with having large penises? Men. Women don't care nearly as much. So
I think it's because you just have the handful that are maybe in a certain industry that will say that.
Well, because that's
very important.
Yeah, it's the porn industry. Everybody inside the porn industry has huge penises. So everybody outside the porn industry that has like an average size penis is like, oh, I'm fucking tiny. And it's like, in the end, you're just like, Oh no, like I'm actually like within the average of penis size, give or take a little bit. And it's more about how good you are with it than what it looks like or how big it is. Can you use it correctly?
That's what I'm told.
That's
sane. I'm always reassured of that.
That's what I keep telling myself.
I don't think we're going to get into our own personal experience, what we got going on. We don't. No one's interested in that.
I mean, if anybody is, they can message us personally.
They can email phallus@phallus. Rest of the email, I forgot what it was. I forgot what the end of it was. .is.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead. Email phallus@phallus.is and ask us how big we are.
That'd be weird if they got a weird influx of emails of like, we need to know about high school famous penises. And like, that's how we gain huge popularity is because everybody starts emailing them and then they contact us. And then somehow that snowballs into shitballs into a big fucking thing.
We become, pun intended, huge in Iceland. All right.
Usually,
what do you got this week?
Usually, ice helps with bringing down swelling.
Right, but in this case, it does the opposite.
Yeah,
especially to our egos.
Yeah, average penises over here.
Speak for yourself.
Nope.
What?
I always speak for the podcast in totality.
I thought you were going to say, I always speak for us. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's because that's what you go by.
That's one of my pronouns.
I don't know about you, but I'm pronoun. That's another hot take. High school famous. I'm pronoun.
Your pro person, place, thing, and idea?
Yeah.
I like how idea got added in there later.
Where are you at? Where are you on?
Nouns?
The noun debate.
I'm for them.
You're for them too?
All yep. Right. I like nouns.
So, there we are.
Because nouns are the one that I always know exactly what it is. I always have trouble remembering what verbs and adjectives and like, wait, which one's which?
So that's why you like nouns. Because
it's the one I remember. It's the one I remember exactly what it is every time without having to like double check.
Okay. Well,
adjectives are action words.
Adjectives are describing words.
Describing words. Verbs are action words.
Verbs are action words, like jump.
Got it. Yeah.
Right? But there are adverbs.
Yes. Which are verbs that have ads attached to them to
describe.
So you can get money off of them.
Yeah. Yeah. AdSense.
Yep.
Yeah. No, like an example of an adverb would be, say, swiftly.
Okay.
It's the way in which something was done, and it's an action.
Got it. I already forgot.
Wow, from weather to like 5th grade grammar, we cover all the bases here.
Mm-hmm.
And
with one giant penis.
Perhaps so does Jonah Falcon's penis. It might also cover all the bases.
Yeah, because he can get to the plate faster than anybody because he just can touch it with his penis before he even gets there.
Imagine how many foot races he could win.
I imagine with a penis that large, you don't run. He probably can't run that fast.
Okay, but you're just talking about him running around the bases and getting there before.
I'm just saying he can get there faster because his penis gets to the base before he does.
Yeah, so he could also get to the end of a race faster. For the same reason.
Depends on how long the race is.
You're still playing. It's 13.5 inches.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he wins instantly. As long as he's aroused.
It's called the just over a foot race.
It just depends on how fast he can get aroused.
Before the gunshot, I hope.
I can't imagine. I can only imagine it hurts to get aroused. Like, he doesn't want to get aroused because it's just painful. Or he passes out because all the blood's rushing.
There was something else somewhere. I didn't find it again, but there was something about how sometimes he feels a little lightheaded. So when aroused, that's all.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
You can only picture it.
That's in my head with my imagination. I mean, this whole time I've just been imagining penises. This whole talk.
Feel free to visit
and after it.
Feel free to visit the Phallological Museum's website and take a gander at some of their specimens.
Their stock.
Yeah, their stock.
Which is also another.
Check out their cock stock.
They got a great cock stock. And if you have a dog, go get yourself some pizzle sticks. No, you have a dog. Go buy your dog some.
Yeah,
pizzle
sticks. I'm not gonna do that. She's so tiny.
She'll love it.
She probably couldn't.
Doesn't mean she can't take a penis.
Unfortunately, she's never known that. She's never courted any other.
I've only had one dog that ever.
What?
I said I only had one dog that ever got some. There was like a dog in our.
Then you swore never again.
Well, there was a dog that was like running around our town that kept like escaping from some like lady's house or some shit, and it came over and essentially forced itself upon one of our dogs.
I mean, your dog what didn't fight it off, I bet.
Well, she was in heat, so she was kind of like, "Yeah, what's up?"
Yeah, this is what we're supposed to do.
Over, and then, but as soon as he started doing it, she started yapping like she wasn't enjoying it.
It was Jonah Falcon. I'm going to go ahead and close this browser so that I'm just not looking at this stuff anymore.
Mm-hmm. I heard that it was only a minimizing; it wasn't a closing. I could tell the difference.
Look, I knew I would
minimize the tab for later.
I knew I would regret assigning unique sound effects to minimizing and maximizing browsers.
It was a whoop instead of a wah.
And I also knew I would regret feeding those sounds into your headphones during recording.
I could tell.
Yeah. Anyway, so if I seem distracted the rest of the episode, it's for no particular reason.
Yeah. Sean's not at all looking at Bull Pizzle. That sounds like something you say when somebody like tells you a story you don't believe.
Well, the weirdest thing is, it's like they gave him a bull penis pizzle, which, according to what you read, the description of that is the definition of a pizzle is an animal penis, usually, most commonly of the bull.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's like saying, "Oh, I got him a bull penis."
Pretty much.
So I don't know why they had to
penis
throw the
of
word
an
pizzle
animal
in there.
Especially a bull.
Oh, especially a bull.
Mm-hmm.
Now we know, again, we've talked about this before. A bull doesn't always refer to simply a male cow. There are various mammals that the male is called a bull.
Right.
So I guess it can cover a lot of different animals with just that designation right there.
True. This is a very penis heavy episode.
My penis is very heavy episode.
It's very penis forward.
It's very penis forward thinking.
It's like penis forward is just how I live. It's the only way I can travel when I'm upright.
Like when you're standing?
Mm-hmm. At full attention.
What if you... Yeah, well, yeah, it's best to pay attention when you're driving because you could get into an accident if you're not paying attention fully.
Right.
Just let it die. See you next Tuesday. We're done.
If you have a question, complaint, or threat for Sean or Matt, you can reach us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at hsfamouspod, or you can email the show at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. No animals were pleasured during the making of this podcast, despite our best efforts. All hail our Lord and Savior.
Vain.